base.
Of the
Yes.
established fan base.
And then you can do other stuff. We're going to get shit because we are blocking out the two women. That was not intentional. I fucking swear to God.
No, they're just sitting aside.
I am going to start using the phrase, I'm having a blonde moment.
Okay.
Mostly at work. We're in surgery and one of the machines, boop, boop, and anesthesia freaks out like, shit, Mike, I need 1 milligram of amiodarone. And I'm like, amiodarone, I'm sorry, I'm just having a blonde moment.
Welcome to Two Gaming Dudes. I cannot believe we're coming back to more Star Wars shit, but...
Well,
you know,
sort of.
Some things won't die.
Okay, so the Acolyte tanked, and Kathleen Kennedy has been asked many times, why did it suck so bad? And she's continuing to blame the fans.
That just kills me. All right. Now, she's doing this openly, right?
Yes,
she's like
in
coming right out
articles.
front and just saying...
Zach Shart. Variety makes. That's not his name.
I'm sorry, Shart.
She says, a lot of women in Star Wars struggle with fan attacks because the fan base is so male-dominated. And then she blames toxic masculinity, and that's why the show tanked.
If your fan base is mostly male, why didn't you make a show for the fan base?
Well, she was addressed...
But, I mean that just seems like I'm pointing out the obvious.
Well, she also says, we're not changing to accommodate you.
Oh, well, see, there's some high-level bullshit right there.
Star Wars won't be changing for those complaining.
So you mean the people who wanted to watch, like the fans?
Yes.
You're not changing for them.
The ones that you want their monthly subscription, you are not changing to accommodate those assholes.
Well, then we're not buying your stuff. We're not going to watch your shows, and we're not going to subscribe to your channel. We're just...
So there was some development out of Disney. So I'm going to get the numbers mixed up. It's either 14 million or 25 million.
Okay.
It's both those numbers. Her salary is based on hitting a certain number of milestones. So her salary and
Which
her...
makes sense. Most C-level...
Okay,
Yeah. Most C-level executives, that's exactly how it works.
She's not going to get it. She's not going to get her bonus. And I don't remember if she was making 14 and the bonus was 25, or she was making 25 and the bonus was 14. I'm going to screw it up.
All right. Either way, though, it's a lot of freaking money.
Obscene amount of money. She's not going to get it. They made it clear, you suck. You're not getting paid.
It's not happening.
And then they canceled all the follow-on shit that was supposed to be based off the Acolyte. There was supposed to be a whole series of Osha and Shay series.
Really?
Gone. Done.
Well, I would have hoped so. It was awful.
And then she went out and did a diss track. Amanda Stenberg did a diss track. You know, which kind of sucked.
I saw it. Is that where she was twerking online?
It's actually, it's a pretty good song.
Is it really?
She's actually a much better musician than she is an actress.
That does not surprise me.
I think maybe she was directed to be so bland. Anyway,
either way,
why this made me mad. This, if you'll indulge me.
Sure.
Two things can be true at once, right?
Right.
There is a small, almost insignificant number of fans who truly are just racist, misogynist assholes. Right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And we saw some of that. They did it to John Boyega for Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Black stormtroopers, Star Wars stupid.
Right. We've seen that. But that makes up a small percentage on one side.
Or Rose Tika, Trang, I don't forget her name, Trang, where they hijacked her Wikipedia and, she's Chingy Changi from Chinga Changa, China. Okay, yeah.
This is just ridiculous.
There are assholes like that. And I think we were us personally, we were amongst the first to defend her against that shit. Pointing out, number one, she's American, born in San Diego.
Right.
And number two, fuck you, you fucking piece of shit of a human being. There is that. Very few of them, but they take up an awful lot of space in the room.
Yes, because they are incredibly loud, and they now have these platforms where they get to stand on soapboxes and preach to the world.
And Leslie Edlund herself said, anyone that is driven by racism or bigotry or misogyny isn't, to me, a Star Wars fan.
No, and you know what? I'm going to agree with that. Out you go.
Most of us agree. We don't want you amongst us. Don't watch our shit. Don't come to our conventions. We don't want to be associated with you.
I don't want to see your comments. I don't want you to comment on my comments. I want you out.
There's so few of them. So few. But she's focusing on that.
Yeah.
And not focusing on the real reason your show sucked. It had nothing to do with any of that shit.
No, it did not.
Your characters are stupid and your plotline was stupid. That's why your show sucked. The two things can be true at once.
Yes.
Yes, there are a couple asshole fans, and your show sucked for legitimate reasons.
And
concentrate on this, not on... Fuck these guys. Concentrate on this.
I feel like she's actually listening to both ends of the extreme, because there's also a small percentage on the other side of the scale.
Yeah.
Who, like, I've seen some of their YouTube channels. That's where, like, one of the episodes of The Acolyte, where he takes his helmet off for the first, and the guy just starts sobbing immediately. It's so good. It's so good. And like, okay, buddy, calm down. Calm down. It's just a show.
Again, there are very few of them.
Yes.
Very few. And you're not going to survive. A franchise isn't going to make it just appealing and depending on those either stupid or deluding themselves.
Exactly. I mean, if you're going to make a show or a movie that is geared specifically towards that small percentage, then don't be surprised if they're the only ones who show up to watch it.
Right. It's the same number of guys that buy the comic book.
Right.
You can count them in the thousands. You're not going to make up your 180 mil
No.
appealing to that.
Exactly. You need to appeal to the rest of us who live in the middle
Of the established fan base.
of the
Yes.
established fan base.
And then you can do other stuff. We're going to get shit because we are blocking out the two women. That was not intentional. I fucking swear to God.
No, they're just sitting the same way
It
we
just
are. I
happened
just
to-
wanted something behind us, and well, I mean, there she is. That's
good. So that is the state of Star Wars now. The grumblings have started, finally.
like the studio grumblings. You
Well, I
mean,
mean,
or like
they already said, look, we're canceling all this. There's not going to be a season 2, and you're not getting your bonus. We're not continuing along this storyline. Depending on who you ask, they'll tell you how many shows were planned to be spin-offs of this.
and none
Some
of them
say
are gonna
3,
work.
some say 4, some say 6. Who knows?
It doesn't matter. None of it's happening.
They pulled the plug on all of it. Yeah, because it was garbage. And season 2. Garbage.
I've heard a couple of people say they really needed to take the Acolyte and do like they did with Willow and just make it go away and pretend that never happened.
Well, so they were working on Star Wars Eclipse. It was being called Eclipse.
I vaguely remember that.
It was going to be 3 movies, 3 feature-length films,
Yeah.
but made specifically for the streaming platform. One of which centered on the Witches of Brendock.
The Space Witches
Yama,
from
yama, yama, yeah. All done. No way are you spending $200 million a piece. 246. You want to spend another $600 million on this piece of shit? Done. They pulled the plug on that. So yeah, the executives at Disney are finally starting to take notice. Like, we've pushed this, I think, as far as we should.
We need to stop now. But now it's like, okay, if you're going to pull the plug and you're going to change things up, what are you going to focus on? Are you going to try to swing the pendulum too far? Or are you going to focus on what really matters, which is just tell better stories with interesting characters?
I don't know who's running the story group right now at Lucas.
I don't know.
Is it that idiot Filoni?
He's doing a lot of it.
I mean, he's messing a lot of shit up.
Yeah.
Because he's thinking he knows Star Wars better than George Lucas.
There's that.
Gonna do it
and
my way.
between that and just basically approaching everything in Star Wars as a cartoon,
Right.
like he's got action figures and he bashes them together. It works in a cartoon. We've seen it does not work in real life.
I don't know. All of this is just sad, man. It's just sad and it sucks and I wish they didn't do it.
I'm not going to be sad to see Kathleen Kennedy get the axe,
What does it take
but
to
I
get
just
fired?
don't know. I don't know. And what's worse for me, like from the Acolyte to any of these other shows, yes, all right, bringing Leslie Headland on board to be the showrunner, bad idea. But someone had to bring her on board.
Yeah.
And somebody else above that had to say, yes, this is a great idea. Go for it. So like there's this chain of command and it's broken all the way through it.
Well, because they said the only qualification is we need a transgender woman. It'd be nice if it's a person of color, but if you can't, that's okay, because the stars are all going to be people of color. When that's your only criteria, you're tying your hands behind your back already.
Yeah.
You know, I brought up John Boyega. That was the best example. Other than the handful of assholes who are just going to complain,
Right?
they never made it a point. These are child soldiers abducted as children, forced to join the First Order, forced to be soldiers. It's believable and it's real, It happens in the real world right now.
Right.
Nobody felt the need to stand up and go, you don't understand what it's like being a black stormtrooper. You didn't have to do that.
No, you did not.
He's a stormtrooper with legit character stuff. He happens to be black. It was done perfectly, and we didn't notice or care. If you want to do DEI, there's a right way to do it. As much as J.J. Abrams sucks shit,
Man, does he ever.
he did that correctly.
Yeah.
It got stupider as the films progressed. By the time you got to writing on the deck of the Star Destroyer, it was just stupid.
You destroyed his character in the second movie, so.
But you
that
started
was just
off
that. But you started off on the
doing
right
it
foot.
correctly.
I went back and watched actually The Force Awakens. I don't know what caused me to do this, but I did.
Okay.
And there's so much done right in The Force Awakens, and so much setup for like, I can't wait to see what happens next. And then you saw what happens next, and you're like, oh, I could have waited longer.
I mean, I disagree. I think what they did with Snoke was beautiful. I love what they were doing with Rey. Show it could be anyone. That hope can come from you because it can be anyone.
No, that they should have.
That was great.
That they should have kept. I think there's a lot that they. I mean, well, either way, it's funny. Whichever one the middle one is,
Yeah.
the Force of the Jedis or whatever it's called.
Last Jedi.
Sure, whatever. You either love it or you hate it. It's hard to find anybody in the middle.
Yeah. I loved it.
I mean, that was like the start of the Great Divide, right there.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. Because Force Awakens was so vanilla. It's just do a New Hope all over again.
You had a couple people come on. Oh, it's just a New Hope.
Yes.
Yes.
That's what we needed after
It's
the
fine.
prequels.
Keep going.
That's what we needed after the prequels.
Yeah, and I had no problem with that. I'm like, let's do the next one and model it after Empire. Sure, I don't care. But
There's
that's
just so
not
much
what they did.
wasted potential with this series. You could have done a good series where there's this small group of Jedi, crooked cops. It happens.
You could have
done that.
You could have done crooked cops. You could have really shown what happens when a Jedi falls. We've never really seen that path done before. We could have.
We've seen it in the video games, but
Yeah, but I mean, not in live action. And or we could have had the Die Hard thing with Al and had just a broken Jedi who had made a mistake and didn't know how to repent for it. There's like so many different things they could have done.
And
I think again, we see that in their other stuff, like Book of Boba Fett. Do you know how cool it would have been if Book of Boba Fett were about his years hunting and killing Jedi and showing why he's the most feared bounty hunter in the galaxy?
Sure.
That would have been awesome. That is not what we got.
No, we get Temuera Morrison, 60 years old, being stupid.
Yes.
And turning him into a weenie character.
It's just like, wow, you've completely ruined Boba Fett for me. He's useless.
He is useless. You've made him a joke now.
Yes.
Congratulations. Is that what you wanted?
Considering how Boba Fett was modeled after Clint Eastwood, grab any Clint Eastwood movie and turn it into Star Wars.
You could have done Unforgiven.
Yes.
You could have. Here's Boba Fett broken down at 60 years old. Just want to relax, and he gets dragged into just one more big score, and I can finally retire. That would have worked. And he gets his ass kicked because he's 60 and he sucks now.
Right? And
sure.
Man, that would have been showing up at the very end and
but
just killing everyone.
He still finds some way.
Yeah.
He finds some way to get it done. You just can't do it the old way anymore because he's not that man anymore. That could have been great.
That could have been very cool. But again, it's not what we got.
It's not. We didn't get anything.
It's garbage.
You could tell like they were thinking about it. Like when they were writing down their ideas. All right, everybody, storyboard. Let's brainstorm. What if there's a group of Jedi and they did something really bad? Okay.
Good
what
idea.
if one of them feels guilt because he screwed something? Okay,
Yeah.
They come up with all these ideas, and they give you a little bit of it and never explore any of it after that.
You had so much potential in there. What was the other one? It was what if you had someone who was an assassin and was going around the galaxy murdering Jedi, like a Jedi serial killer?
Cool.
Brilliant. Put that in there. I would love to see that.
And then at the end, why are you doing this? Then show your group of Jedi are corrupt. Oh my God, corrupt FBI agents. Yeah. Never would have imagined, but there it is.
You don't show the entire organization as corrupt and evil.
No, because now you've broken the whole thing.
Right. You just pull out 4 people and say these 4 people are corrupt.
I mean, it's been done in Star Trek.
Yeah.
A mutiny on board a Starfleet vessel. Absolutely unheard of. You can do it. It's like, whoa, man, something big happened.
Yeah.
You could have played that. You
And
didn't
that
do
would have
any
been
of it.
very awesome. And none of that will ever happen because you don't have experienced writers
I
on
was just going to
staff
say,
anymore.
an experienced writer would have picked up on that and said, this is what we need to explore.
Yep.
Phil Mento calls it the engine, the plot engine.
The story engine, yeah.
When I was for me, it was called the driver. What's driving the plot? When I was in film school, that's what we called it.
Yeah.
What's driving this plot in The Acolyte? What's driving it?
I honestly don't know.
This girl's killing Jedi. Why? We don't know. This girl needs to prove her innocence. These Jedi are hiding something. None of them take center stage. None of them are driving the plot forward.
No.
It just kind of stuff happens.
Yes.
None of it's important. None of it's related. You don't give a shit about any of it. Stuff happens because we need 43 minutes. And then at the end, other stuff happens. It's like a reality show following my day-to-day work. What happened? He woke up at 5 a.m. He brushed his teeth. And then he took a shit and ate breakfast. And then he went to work. And then he went to the gym and he came home and went to sleep. And then he woke up the next day and brushed his teeth.
Because now you're just waiting for something to happen to you rather than you going out and doing something.
Right.
And that's what all of these characters do.
Rather than me, he woke up 5 a.m. and decided I needed to murder a hobo today.
Yeah.
Why? Well, you'll find it out at the end.
Well, now you're driving the plot. The plot
I'm doing
isn't driving
something.
you.
Right.
You're pushing it forward. None of the characters in this show do any of that.
No.
Things happen, and then they get dragged along.
Yeah, they're following on. They're passive members of the audience, just like you.
And that is so boring.
I mean, you've tanked your show before it's even started. It's done.
These characters don't even like each other.
Because none of them are a separate character. We talked about this earlier. The Jedi, I don't know where this idea came. They have to be these stoic. Was it Ahsoka, maybe? They have to be stoic, emotionless, because they're cold, calculated badasses, just like male action heroes.
I stand like this.
Even though these are girls, they're going to show they can be just as cold-hearted, bloodthirsty killers as the men.
Ahsoka, why do you have your arms folded?
And then they carried that to everybody in the Acolyte.
Yeah.
Everybody. We talked about in Star Wars, you had Luke, your naive farm boy,
Wide-eyed, everything is
full of
awesome,
optimism,
everything is amazing.
trying to find his way.
Right.
Great. You've got Han Solo, the swashbuckling, cocksure,
Yeah.
kind of a scoundrel, but deep down a
scoundrel-
good guy.
Yeah.
Chewbacca, the muscle, but he's got a heart of gold. Ben, the fucking wise elder who's going to guide you because he's been there, done that. Listen to me, I'll show you how it's done. Everybody has their own. You can say, this is this guy's character.
Yeah. You could even do it with the droids.
You
Frickin'
could.
R2-D2 had his own personality. That was him.
Every one of them have their own
The
character.
villains, all of them. All of them had their... Yeah.
Describe any of these characters in The Acolyte.
If whatever description you use, you can copy-paste on every single character.
Stoic,
they are all the same.
Emotionless, confused. I don't know. They're all the same. And they're all giving the same performance. Because somebody decided this is what the Jedi are now. They're just carbon copy stamps of each other. Emotionless clones and stoic drones. That's fucking boring. It's boring.
It's
It's a tremendous failure. Just incredible amateurish failure.
So to turn around and say the reason why it failed is because fans? Because people like us? That
mean, that's
blows
what
my mind.
It's a bullshit excuse. I don't know that she truly believes it.
I don't know. Does
she think they made an award-winning, awesome, amazing, mind-blowing series
I
here?
can't imagine she actually thinks that. But if you're in a certain position and the people above you come at you and say, what the hell did you do?
Yeah.
Is it her knee-jerk reaction to be like, no, I didn't. They did it.
You don't understand. We made this amazing show, and this toxic fan base turned...
Look at what I saw on Twitter.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, is that what you do?
When you're insecure and not confident in your abilities, yeah, I guess. We have no problem admitting our show sucks. Nobody watches us.
No, it's fine.
Because
Whatever.
we put no effort into it.
All right. Do you remember when the first trailers for the Sonic the Hedgehog movie was announced?
The Jim Carrey one?
Yeah. And you saw this
guess.
thing for the first time, and he looked horrifying. Like he had like weird human eyes
And human
weird
teeth,
human
yeah.
teeth, and everybody was like, "What the hell is that?" And the backlash hit, and they were like, "No, this ain't this is garbage." And
right. Let's pull this back
Yeah.
for 2 months. Push back the release date.
Sega, all of them, they're like, pull it, fix it. Well, I've heard the fans, they're not happy.
Yeah.
So fix it. And they fixed it, and the movie did astonishingly well.
Yeah, they went back to the CGI guys and said,
Yeah.
make Sonic look better.
Make him look like the one that the fans want. Not the ones that we think the fans want, the ones the fans actually want.
Like from the game that they fell in love with.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a reason why we like this character. Just do that. Same thing here. There's a reason why we've loved Star Wars for 40 odd years. There's a reason why we can keep coming back to it.
Bravo.
It is absolutely timeless.
Yes.
Quit trying to fix it. Quit trying to change it for modern audiences or whatever weird shit you're doing.
I think you can do both. You can update it so that
You can update it.
but you can't completely restructure the whole thing.
No. And yes, you can update it, but I take a look at Inside Out, and then they came out with Inside Out 2,
Yeah.
which was just more of what we saw from Inside Out 1.
It's now the
and they
highest grossing film ever, by the way.
all they had
Inside Out 2.
Yes.
It just beat Frozen.
All they had to do is, we really liked the first story. I would like you to just continue that story.
Great.
But add some new characters, give them a new adventure to go on, but keep everything that I love about the first one in the second one.
Great.
Done. Here you go. Freaking brilliant.
Well, different studio, different mindset,
Yes.
different executive oversight. It just sucks from top to bottom now.
It really does. And I don't know what the right answer is. I don't know how you fix it at this point. I mean, it is so damaged that if Steven Spielberg popped up and like, hey, I'm going to make the next Star Wars show, I would still be hesitant. I'd be like, I'll believe it when I see it. I don't know.
Well, I mean, that's
Because
a pie in the sky because he would have enough clout to tell the studio,
Piss
just back
off.
away.
Yeah.
Come back in 2 months when photography is done and I'll show you what we're working on. I don't need you swimming in my soup. Leslie Headland, make sure 2 or 3 of the executive production staff are down there to make sure she doesn't fuck this up too bad. Well, now there's 8 hands in the soup.
Do I put the camera here or do I put the camera there? Where do I put the camera, guys?
Sucks.
I'm just assuming anyway.
Yeah, that's exactly how it went. All right.
All right, that's a good take. We only did one. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's fine.
good.
It's good. I liked it. I really think we should probably do another take. And moving on. It's killing my love for Star Wars in general. And I hate that.
Well-
I hate that that's happening, but it is just, I'm losing more and more confidence just in the franchise in general. And it's making me tired of it. And I hate that. So I don't know, maybe I need to go back to the original trilogy and just watch them again so I can be reminded of why I love this in the first place. But I'm a little burned out on it.
I can see the same thing happening to me that happened with Star Trek. The new Star Trek stuff is shit.
Bullshit.
It's absolute shit. It's just mass-produced schlock action garbage. Ridiculous. The old stuff is always... Next Gen, the original series, DS9, some of the
Yeah.
best shit ever on TV.
Yeah.
That's my Star Trek. This new stuff, I don't care if it never sees the light of day again. I don't care what's done with it. You've lost me. I'm not going to come back to it. Except Strange New Worlds was kind of the backlash to that, where they were like, okay, let's go back to the original series and make it like that again. Nobody watched it.
Kind of like Andor. Andor was like, all right, let's make one that's a little bit more adult, that's got a little better story, better writing. And they did. And nobody watched it.
It was
But
outstanding. Nobody watched it. Mass generic fans didn't watch it. They need karate fights and stupid fart jokes. They need stupid stuff because they're stupid people.
But then in that case, Solo, a Star Wars story, should have done amazing.
Solo is no longer the worst Star Wars I've ever seen. So something good came out of this.
Well, all right, there you go. Would love to know your thoughts on it. Don't forget to put them in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share this stuff because we'll never monetize it. And we'll see you in another episode.
I am trying to limit the F-bombs to see if that helps at all. 'Cause I know we get tagged for it a lot. So.
I don't know what. I don't know
give
what
a
the secret
fucking
is.
shit.
We'll see you. Bye.